Hey guys, welcome to the chat. Welcome. We've got some exciting things to happen and talk about today. When I say happen, I just mean like in general, just like to talk about it. So, yeah, welcome here, and let's get into the things that are really happening. It's exciting because we're in a bull run, and we've been experiencing some turbulent times recently, and because of that turbulence, it's been just a bit of a mess. But during that turbulence, there have been opportunities for shorts. So there's been opportunities to make some money along the way. If you've done that, then that's fantastic, and it's encouraging to know that you guys are doing that because we're going to all be doing that shortly. By shortly, I mean at the end of the bull run, which could be in 3 or 4 months. It could be in 6 months. It could be in 8 months. It could be in a year. But yeah, howdy, Donkabar. It's good to see you, bro. I haven't seen you for a while. Or spoken to you, I should say. So, welcome here. Okay, so what is it that I wanted to sort of go into, really, is that there is more adoption now, obviously, because we're getting... Let's just get this camera sort of kind of right. And I'll shrink myself down in a second. But there's been a lot more adoption of Bitcoin now. People that were once turning around, or people or companies that were turning around, like Wells Fargo, was saying, to their clients not to buy Bitcoin, and that it was a pyramid scheme, or that it was dangerous, or it was too volatile, and all the rest of it. And they're now stocking up on it. So yeah, I've just got a few links that I'm going to kind of use as a what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to like to use as a I'm going to use it as a bullet point sort of guide. For those of you that don't know, there's a company out there called Glassnode. It's more of a website. It's a lad who's just enjoys looking at charts, and is a bit of an analyst, and he's put together this website, and it's become very popular among the crypto enthusiasts. Okay, and I'm going to bring this over to the chart before we jump into the charts. I'm going to kind of bring it over to the screen that we're going to be looking at now, and start having a look at that. Okay. So for now, I'm hoping, and what I'm going to tell what I'll do now, I'm just going to shrink myself down now so that you can see it. Basically, all of this kind of, it's going to be this side, isn't it? Because I'm kind of like, yeah, all of this line here is, all this area here is the price where he feels, with this algorithm that is drawn up, is the price where Bitcoin's going to go. And or where it's been, and every time that it changes color, it means that it's going into its next bull run. So when it hits the red, it will go to dark green, go to the light green, and then come back down. When it goes to the red, go to the bluey green, then it goes up to the light green, then it comes back down. And now where we are, and it's been fairly accurate, because he once it kind of got to where he was doing the glass, where he put this stock to flow model up, it's been going for years, but he was predicting all of this back here in 2015, 2016. So it's been ages. I mean, it's 2018 there, but yeah, it's been ages. And more or less, if you average it out, it's bang on. Obviously, you get the highs and you get the lows where it just slightly dips under or goes over and all the rest of it. But as a general rule, it kind of follows it. And because it's followed it for so many years now, it's starting to become quite what's the word I'm looking for? A crystal ball, if you like, for those investors that are looking to the future and to try and see what it is that it's worth. Just out of curiosity, Dunkerbar, can you hear me okay? Is everything okay? Because I've been having problems with my sound recently. I can always turn it up if need be. So, but more often than not, instead of it dipping underneath where he feels that it is, like it did here, and obviously it did during the COVID dump here and stuff, the bigger spikes, it goes over, yeah? Sound a little low. Okay, let's pull that up a little bit and put my microphone a little bit closer to my lovely face. Yeah, so more often than not, it goes above and over where the I'll call it a medium line, for want of a better word, is, where the prediction line is. Obviously we go under sometimes, but when we go over, we really go over. So yeah, so if we look at the colour sort of side of where things are, we're at the blue, and when we go over to the green and then the light green, it's when we hit the light green that we're really high over. Thanks, buddy. And right now, obviously we're in a recession and things are difficult, but we're starting to hit that kind of green area now where we're about to go and hit that peak. So if this is right, we should end up kind of going over. But if we don't, and we only just end up staying on the line, and we look at the price of Bitcoin there, the price of Bitcoin there is over $100,000 in all of this kind of area here, which is, if you look at the dates there, you're talking November, December time. We're talking in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's quite exciting according to Glassnode. But the thing is I mean, I don't know because I've never spoken to the lad who developed it, but when he developed this, was he aware of just the amount of people that would end up being involved and getting drawn into crypto as an asset class, like gold is an asset class, like a store of value, if you want it? So yeah, which will bring me to my next website that I wanted to bring up as part of my bullet points, if you will, is, let me just move this here, is I don't know if you guys use Twitter or not, but let's bring Twitter up here. Is that Brian Armstrong? So he's like one of the co-executors and founders of Coinbase, and Coinbase have purchased themselves over another $500 million of crypto on their actual balance sheet. So this isn't for the public to be able to buy and sell and trade within. It's to do with their own balance sheet and as an investment for the company. So, and that's Coinbase. So Coinbase, you would say, are a company that are in the know, considering they're the second largest crypto exchange in the world, second and first, obviously, to Binance. So if they've invested that to themselves, that's pretty, self-telling that Coinbase really do believe in Bitcoin and feel that its future is high. Obviously, we buy high. I mean, we buy low and sell high, right? Why would Coinbase buy now if they felt that the price right now was about to go over and go down? Well, they wouldn't, and obviously they themselves have got analysis teams that work for them. Next one that was worth mentioning is what's probably a good one to bring in at this point here. Let's go for this one, which is another company. It's an investment company, and they are something like the third largest crypto investment company, and they are also heavily invested with Tesla. Yeah, so you think about Tesla and all of the buys and sells that and FUD and FOMO that Tesla brought into the market, and when you look at the fact that BlackRock are massively invested with these guys as well, it's massive. So yeah, they claim to be a very self-sustaining or economical company that look after the earth and the planet and all the rest of these things, but they've gone into crypto massively. So it's just an interesting thing that they have done that. So yeah, I'll bring that one down. Brian Armstrong, will bring him off. I'm going to leave this stock to flow ratio kind of here and just bring on some more. More on that BlackRock that I was talking about here now is that BlackRock joins Fidelity and Vanguard as a Bitcoin mining investor. So BlackRock themselves now holding a shed ton of money within mining companies. It's big news. I'm not a subscriber of Forbes, but I can manage to just get onto the full screen there and read their bits. It's more news. So when I speak about Glassnode and did the analysis guy, I can't remember his name, did he take into account that the mass adoption that would end up happening at this point? I don't know, but if he didn't, then when Bitcoin does end up going up, you see, because whilst these massive industries end up taking the Bitcoin that's on the market, then supply and demand starts to become very difficult for the working class person as mass adoption, i.e., you and I, as you and I get involved in this asset class. Then obviously we want to buy Bitcoin, but there isn't much Bitcoin there because that supply, if you like, is going down. The supply is going down for two reasons. A, because it's getting lost and taken away from criminals that ended up using it for money laundering or for whatever. And another reason why is because it gets lost on people's ledgers and they can't get to it or whatever. People end up dying, unfortunately, and families can't get to the money. I said a couple of reasons, and obviously the third one, which is really my point today, is that companies and banks are buying it up like it's gold dust, because it is. It's digital gold dust. Another Twitter. Speaking about Blockworks, so just talking about Coinbase adding 500 million to their balance sheet, which is what I mentioned earlier on. And there was something else in here as well in Blockworks. Just give me a sec. There was something else that I thought was worth mentioning that they've just released. Walmart is hiring a digital currency and crypto lead. Yeah, that's interesting. In Walmart getting into it. Everyone's getting into it. So I did a training course, a property training course, which I think just turned out to be a 2-day. Hey, pay for this course and we'll teach you how to buy property. But the course that you pay £100 for, whatever, $100 for, just turns out to be a 2-day course, telling you how great their $20,000 course is and that you should buy it. So that's what it turned out to be. And when I mentioned that in the comments, I got kicked out. And I got kicked out yesterday because I was talking about crypto in the chat, and they didn't like that either. They mentioned it a couple of times, not to talk about your trades or whatever. But when someone asks you about crypto, I just kind of feel obliged to give answers, because I think the people need to know what it's all about. And so that's it. I'm not going to mention this company's name, but it's not the greatest company. But anyway, that's that. Okay, worth mentioning. That's a really good place to go, by the way, Forbes. Just go onto Twitter, go onto Forbes, and just type in like crypto, and it will always come up with the latest information. It's quite a good place to go, quick and easy to reference. Wow. Next one, Lloyds Bank. Lloyds Bank Group is looking to hire a digital currency manager. So I know that HSBC, I know that Barclays have done it. Lloyds TSB are now following suit as well. These are the companies that are going to buy up the Bitcoin, right? When they buy it up, it means that supply becomes even more difficult. It becomes even more rare. It becomes even more difficult for us, you and I, to buy it, which is why the price will end up going up, because people like you and I will be more willing to buy it because we want it, which is why we need to get in while it's low. And also, which is why these companies are getting in while it's low. It's almost like, if you knew that gold was going to be worth something when you're back in the sort of like Neanderthal times, if you believe in the evolution of everything, or maybe you are a biblical believer and you believe in Adam and Eve or whatever. If you ended up knowing back then that gold was going to be the thing, would you maybe have stored it all? Anyway, right, next one, right? Okay, boom. Going to bring out this one. Now, this guy, Lark Davis, is someone who I like. I like Lark. He's quite well-mannered. He's down to earth. He just says everything as it is. And he has brought to the attention that Wells Fargo, right, so he said they used to ban customers from buying crypto and almost bend the knee, but Wells Fargo now launches a passive Bitcoin fund for the wealthy clients. So they used to ban it, but now they're turning around and saying, well, the wealthy clients, they can have it because it's great. And he kind of mentions this kind of stock to flow ratio. It's not quite Glassnode, but he is turning around and looking at fractals, saying that, well, this happened back then, so it's going to happen now, and then it's going to happen now, and this is where we are if we go back every 4 years or whatever, when we after the halving, sort of post halving, this is what ends up happening. And if that's the case, then this is where we are here. And he's quite right. Whilst fractals aren't something that I'm an advocate of, you can't help but notice the patterns that after every halving we get like a couple of 3,000% increase on its previous price, right? And look, this is the matrix that he was talking about all the all-time highs and everything. So yeah, he was going on a bit of a frenzy by the looks of it over the last few weeks about all this stock to flow or graphs and all the rest of that sort of stuff. So that is it in a nutshell. So that is kind of like where Bitcoin is, and I've sort of like, is this even live? It's like not. It's not connected. It as being live on the. It's not connected. This as being live, which is a real shame. All right. It looks like it's just me and you, buddy. Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. So I might end up doing this video again on this. On this other one. Altcoins and today's charts. So let's just take a look into everything that I've just spoken about. And if you've just joining in, it's worth kind of starting the video from the beginning and having a look through, because I've just kind of flowed through everything really quickly with regards to. Okay, that's smashing. That's what I needed to hear. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, so everything that I've just sort of gone through really quickly, that kind of, I'll come back to this Glassnode in a minute, and for now just bring up the charts. When my computer decides to do it. So if we go now to Bitcoin and sort of go back, so far, then do you remember what, I don't know if you guys, how many of my subscribers were into crypto at the time, but when we used to see back this, when Bitcoin went up to 20 grand, we'd go, wow, I mean, that was amazing. But now look at it, it's just a little blip in the road compared to where it's been. And what Lark Davis was saying is like, where it ended up going up and then coming down here. We went up and then we ended up coming down here like a humpback. If I kind of go into that, you'll see what it is that I mean. I mean, take all this off because this hasn't happened yet. What he's saying is that, does that not look very, very similar? I mean, it's a mountain, isn't it? It's huge. But when you bring it down to kind of where the money is right now, that mountain that we've just looked at is just that little blip there. Just this little tiny blip. Just this little blip. What is it? A little blip. Yeah. But then we ended up going up for the big rally. Well, now look at it. We're up here, the all-time highs so far. So when we do get that big rally, which when I pull this... Anyway, I didn't. Oh yeah, okay, I got it. Oh yeah, so when we do look at this rally, i.e., that's the Glassnode one. Yeah. Anyway, when we do look at this rally, and then we can see that back here is nothing, and we end up going up here, kind of like to the 150,000 mark. Some people are predicting 200,000 this year. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. It all depends on how many investors we end up getting into the space. But 100,000 would take us to there. So yeah, I'd say 150, 160,000 is quite possible this bull run. It's quite exciting. Yes. So, but I did advertise it as this come up, Dunkerbar, as being Bitcoin versus alts. That would be great if it was, because that's how I'd planned it. Because what I wanted to do, and if it's not, then it should have been. And what I wanted to do was just to look at, like I do on every video, is this one here, which is Bitcoin versus alts. Now for, I don't know, 2 weeks, I've been saying that, this is a shoulder. If this is a head and this is a shoulder, then we could most definitely be looking at prices coming down to 43% Bitcoin versus altcoin dominance, right? And if that is the case, then we can expect altcoins to do very well right now. Now, that's kind of the measured move to this head and shoulders. But when you have an asset, and let me just bring up a Bitcoin for now, friend, just to bring up a good example. If we just bring Bitcoin up and look at kind of Bitcoin going up here, all the way up the way, we had kind of W's, and then another W, and then a W here, and then another W. Yeah, these were W's. They weren't M patterns. They were all W's. So there were W's within W's, or Adam and Eve's with inverse Adam and Eve's within inverse Adam and Eve's. You know, and then on the way down, now, as we've been coming into this bear move, we end up having all these M's within M's. Yeah. And now we're kind of like, we don't quite know what's going on at the moment. Obviously, we're going up, but it's only going to be kind of like in the next, I don't know, couple of weeks where we'll see if this is an M or is this the start of a W, you know, because we've only got a week of candles to find out how strong this this bullish move is now. We have got some soldiers here, just sort of indicating the change of the direction of trend, which is what these candles kind of represent. And we were in this bear trend where we're under the 50 and the 20 SMA. So now we're definitely above the 20 clearly, and we're above the 50 as well. I know that because I did it the other day, and I can kind of see that we're above the 50 by just looking at the candles. Okay. However, when we look at Bitcoin dominance, we need to know, is Bitcoin dominance going to keep going down, in which case we're going to get more bang for our buck in altcoins. Then we need to be looking at, are we getting lots of M's or lots of W's? So this head and shoulders pattern is kind of it's not finished yet. We still looks like we're going to get more downwards momentum, and it looks like weekends are normally a great time to get some money, whether you're longing or shorting. But yeah, it is very possible that we could get another big move down here, and altcoins will give us some great bang for our buck. But where we need to be careful then is to find out if we're going to have lots of M's or lots of W's over the course of the next month to 6 weeks before we get a change around, or if we do get a change around, do we find that we end up crossing over this 20 SMA and start having loads of W's and making a load of money? Yes, Bitcoin versus alts. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. So right now, I like to think that altcoins are doing better and going to continue to do better as the Bitcoin dominance starts to fall. And it's something that I myself are going to be looking at as to find out at what point should I be taking my altcoins out and putting it into Bitcoin, ready to ride that rally that I was talking about, with all of those different things that I've mentioned on the stock to flow and the reasons why this analyst might have underestimated the price of Bitcoin. Did he think about all these people? I don't know. As I say, I never spoke to the guy, but yeah, these are the things to be looking out for if you want to move your stuff over to Bitcoin. Is you need to be looking at the Bitcoin dominance. It's really important. Now, if you ended up buying cryptocurrency when you were in this area, which was obviously far below here, what's the best thing to do? Well, it depends on how desperate you are and how over leveraged you are. And I don't mean leverage training. I just mean, how much do you need the money out? Can you wait? Undoubtedly, there will be a time where you can, even if you did end up buying altcoins in this area, undoubtedly there will be a time where the altcoins that you've bought, as long as they're good choices, maybe the top 50, etc. There's definitely going to be a time where you're going to be able to get your money back. I believe that, and the reason why I believe that is because, yes, I understand that Bitcoin is becoming more rare, more scarce, and becoming a good store of value. But at the same time, companies like Algorand, companies like Cardano, companies like Ethereum, I'm saying companies or cryptocurrencies in probably a better terminology. Yeah, these kind of cryptocurrencies allow an open source sort of networking, if you like, where you can just take the open source coding and use it, and then just change it and make your own currency. So people and companies are making their own currency, and they're doing it with relative ease. I started making my own cryptocurrency, and I was going to call it Tony Coin, and I was going to do a video on it just to show how simple and how easy it is. And I've got no computer programming experience, so the Ethereum blockchain chain is an easy one to use. and they are going over to Ethereum 2.0 and going to proof of stake instead of proof of work. So what that means, for those of you that don't know, is that proof of work is basically it's like using dirty power in order for the cryptocurrency to work, like Bitcoin is and like Ethereum is. But Ethereum 2.0, when it comes out, is going to go to proof of stake, where instead of using computer hashing power or lots of electricity, if you will, to be able to make the ecosystem work, like the ecosystem or the cryptocurrency work itself, instead of using loads of computer power, it's just simply a ledger system, and they get rewarded for keeping that ledger going with things like nodes, what they call nodes. Yeah, so as Ethereum 2.0 ends up moving over to green, lots more people will be invested in it, and lots more companies will end up making their own coin, like probably Lloyd's and probably Barclays, and who knows what's going to happen in the future and all the rest of it. One thing's for sure, Bitcoin is going to be the thing for the future, and I'm all for Bitcoin and think that most of our portfolio should be in Bitcoin. But for now, I think that altcoins will outperform Bitcoin, just certainly in the short term, and be looking for, if we do end up coming down to these kind of areas with regards to our percentage, that's what these numbers are here. They're not dollars, they're just percentages. As the percentage comes down to these kind of figures of 40, 41, then it's really, really wise to start thinking about getting out of crypto altcoins and into Bitcoin, because it's a safer move, and also Bitcoin, now going on to the stock to flow ratio that we looked at earlier, is going to go ballistic. That's my thoughts. Not financial advice, but that's my thoughts, and that is today's video. And I hope you enjoyed it. It was quite intricate in places. Is there anything that we need to look at? Okay, just a few things that let's have a look. No, I think I'll leave it there. Yeah, I think I'll leave it there because just because I was going to leave it there. Before I go, is there anything you want me to look at, Dunkelbauer? Because it seems that you're the only one on here that's come to give me some support, so I'm quite happy just to give you a little bit of time. Do you need me to look at anything, or do you want me to have a look at anything and give you my thoughts? Hey, CC. Hey, good to have you here. I'm just kind of wrapping up, but it's been a really what's the word I'm looking for? It's been a educational, quick video today, so it's really worth kind of going back to the beginning and watching it through. I think there'll be stuff in there that you'll gain benefit from, so yeah, be certain to kind of go through and have a look. But guys, is there anything that you want me to look at before I kind of sign off? Because I am here for you guys, I'm not here for anybody else. Hello. No? Then I shall say thank you and remind you all to go back and look at the whole video, because it was a good video today, and you will learn something, and be good for you to go through. All right, guys, don't forget to like, all both of you. All right, guys, see you later. Thanks. Bye. Dunkelbar says, Tony, thanks. Just had one question. How would you go about screening crypto in play for the day? So you're talking about day trading, right? How would you go about screening it for the day? How would I go about it? I would have, say, maybe 10 cryptocurrencies on TradingView like this. Color code it so that you know which ones they are. Maybe put all the ones that you kind of look at on a regular basis, have them all at the same color and right at the top. And once you get to know the cryptocurrencies, what you end up doing is writing down things mentally, like a mental note of where you are with audio, for example. I know roughly where audio is, and that we're kind of pumping here past all-time highs. Once we get past this all-time high, I know that we're going to be going ballistic, all right? So I've been looking at audio every day. So at the minute, long audio because I don't know how far this retracement's going to come down. It might come down to this medium line of the Bollinger Band, this 20 SMA. So I don't know. So as I don't know, and there isn't enough data because there isn't enough past to kind of dictate at what point we're going. I'm not particularly looking at long in with regard to a margin trade. This. However, I own it, and I'm looking to a dollar cost average out of it into Bitcoin as it starts to increase, right? But the majority of it I won't take out until I've doubled my money at what point I bought it in, which I can't remember, okay? But I know that it's nowhere. It was around about here somewhere, so we're kind of like nowhere near doubled it, yeah. So yeah, there'll be a time where I need to start doing that. But okay, so that's that one. Matic, that's the same sort of thing. Ended up buying a load around here, so I need to wait for that to go up. Same with a lot of these. But what you end up doing is you kind of know where everything is. Then once you know that something's definitely on its way up, like Luna was, just hide these fibs just here, and I'll show you why. Well, if you've probably looked at my other videos, right? So if I just get rid of these fibs for now, let's go to hide, right? With regards to these fibs here, you have got quite a blatant and textbook hidden bullish divergence here. So you've got these two lows, while these two lows on the RSI gave us a bullish divergence. And I'm like, wow, okay. It only gave me real confirmation when we ended up kind of going like this, because then I knew that there was we're on a definite on our way back up now, because it wasn't just a day, because this could have come down here and ended up making a lower low, like the lower low of the RSI, but it didn't. And then so it was at this point here I put a long position in based on that, and also the fact that we were above the 50 and above the 20, or above the 20 above the 50. And at that point there, I could then put my fibs on, draw my fibs, and look at where my take profit was. So if I go into the layer, bring my fibs back on. They're the fibs with the fib extensions? Yes. Sorry, dude. Is it worth putting both of them on? Let's put both of them on. Yeah. Okay. So at that point there, I knew that we were going to end up going up. So my take profit is up here. So when we get up here, I'm going to take a load more off. Okay. I believe this is a retracement, and then up we go. So how do I screen? I screen by knowing my project, and I'm screened by knowing them and having them there on a constant basis and looking at them every day and knowing where they are. I know where they are. I know whether they're underpriced. I know whether they're overpriced. I know whether to dollar cost average in. And I know when you say to screen to put a trade in, then what I'm looking at bullish divergence on a daily time frame. And then once the daily time frame gives me bullish divergence, then I'll go down the time frames down to sort of the 4 hour. I'll go down to the hourly, and then I'll be looking at patterns like head and shoulders, Adam and Eve's, W patterns, M patterns. I'll be looking at if we have made a big rise, I'll be looking at bull flags. So we've just made this massive increase here, as we can see on Luna. I'll just go back onto that layer for a second. Hang on a minute, buddy. Boom, get rid of that. Right, so we've just made this massive high here, but on the 4 hour, it's looking, so yeah, if I end up going like this, right, so we've just made this kind of rally up really high here, and now we're kind of coming down, which could be seen as being a bull flag, because once you have a high and then you end up coming sort of either sideways or coming down like this, then normally you end up having what they call a bull flag, which ends up going back up to its previous high. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at now. Notice that the this line here doesn't line up now with this this divergence. It's kind of messed up, so you'll need to redraw your lines and all the rest of it. And if you've still got divergence there on the 4 hourly, bullish divergence, then the divergence still counts in that time frame. Sometimes the wick can come down so fast and then go back up again that on a smaller time frame it counts, but on the daily it won't, because the wick doesn't take into consideration, the RSI doesn't take into consideration the wick. So when you go down on the time frame, you normally get it, which kind of messes up the RSI a little bit, like it has here. I don't know if that made sense. I hope it did. Yeah. So then you're looking at different patterns. Down the further down the time frame you go. So I'm down here. I'm kind of looking at a bullish pendant potentially forming. And so what I'll be looking at now is, if this is a bullish pendant, I'll be looking at the volume to see if there's going to be any volume increase whilst this happens. I'll be looking at the trading volume on the VPR, and I'll be looking at bullish divergence just here, which we have got or will have. Bear in mind, we've got this low here. This is making a low, but we're even lower on the RSI. So we're going to have this bullish divergence again within the 4 hour. So this all indicates that this bull flag is a bull flag, because this RSI is coming right down here, okay? And then we go down to the hourly, and now what we're looking at is to see if we can get some kind of confluence that we've got this bull flag bringing up this hidden bullish divergence, and we're looking at M patterns, W patterns, which I was talking about earlier. Are we making any M patterns, or are they all Ws, and vice versa? And at the minute, it's just looking a little bit that there aren't any. There isn't any really that could be kind of considered a head and shoulders there, and this is the measured move of that. So it kind of finishes just here. So yeah, in a couple of hours we'll be back up here again. Yeah, it's looking positive, because if this is a shoulder, this is a head, this is the other shoulder, then the measured move is from here to here, and then copy that. So I'll just do it for you to show you what it is that I mean. So you turn around and get a measured move. So just get a trend line for now. I'll do it. So you go from the body to the breakout, and then we can right click and press clone. And now we can grab it and move it to here. And then from here, we can see where the measured move is. Stick a ray on. Yeah, I'm sure you know this, buddy. And I'm sure you know this. Where's the ray? Where's the ray? Where's the ray? That's not the ray. That's not a ray. It's going to be a ray, but it's not the ray that I wanted. Yeah, so that's kind of like the price that, yeah, it's more of a pivot, isn't it? Yeah, but that's kind of the price where I'm expecting it to be today, if that is, a thing. My point is that you're looking for patterns the further down the time frame you go, for confluence of bigger patterns the further up the time frame you go. So there's your head and shoulders. You go up the time frame. There's your your bull flag, sorry. And then on the daily, you're looking at are we coming down to a perhaps a moving average of some sort that's worth considering. Maybe it might be the 9 period average or something like this. Yeah, that's it. Once you've got that, because we have got the bullish divergence on the 4 hour, then you turn around and go boom. So I've screened it, like you said, and there's Luna to Bitcoin. Make the trade, at the level that it's at now, ready for a bull run, move. Great. Then you're looking at previous to say, have we got anything previous, to turn around and say, where's it been? So yeah, that's that one. Get rid of that now. So we've screened that one. We've gone to audio, this audio one. Audius went up mad because TikTok decided not to use Spotify, not to use Apple Music, but to use Audius. So that's what moved the price up here so much, is that this is TikTok's new platform for their music. So audio, or Audius coin, is the future for TikTok. I'm sure you know what TikTok is. And there you go. There you go. Thanks, Tony. Just had one question. How would you go about screening? Done that. Thanks a lot, Tony. You rock. That's nice to know that I rock. Rocky rocks. But it's nice to know that I've got some rockabilly. I could be a rockabilly. Yeah. All right. Dot. Yeah. Dot's looking good. I'm kind of hoping that Dot's going to come down and give us another bit of a retest on Dot versus Bitcoin. That is that Dot. Yeah, it is. It's coming down. So we took it out here, which is really good. Just there, we took it out. So really close. That's pretty much fantastic. And we're heading down now. So that's great. And I'm looking to go in possibly around about the 50,050 is where I'm looking to go back in again, on the hope that we end up coming and bouncing off of this 786, which will hopefully be where the 20 SMA meets up with the 786 at the end of the weekend. You know, should we get a couple of, you know, big down movements? Might not happen, might happen, but I think the RSI's pushing it a bit. We're now kind of, this is normally a real strong area for a retracement, and 786 is a great bounce off area. It's all everything's just lining up right, you know. W patterns again here and then here. So yeah, all good. All right, guys, I am off and out, and I'll say thank you very much, and I'll see you all